A very good day to you. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. It's Wednesday, September 6th. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run. State Senator James Skoufis, a frequent critic of the Orange County Industrial Development Agency, blasted it on Tuesday for its anticipated consideration of financial incentives for housing developments. In a joint statement with Jeff Perlman, director of the state authority's budget office, he called that a flagrant continued disregard for taxpayers and the reason he secured state approval for a monitor to oversee all activities of the IDA.
If this precedent is set, after 50 years of not providing incentives, property tax breaks to housing development, if this new precedent is set, every single housing developer for forever, for perpetuity, is going to come to the Orange County IDA and ask for property tax breaks.
IDA Executive Director Bill Fioravanti, meanwhile, said Skoufis is wrong about the role of the IDAs. He said the facts are that IDAs and municipalities around the state have long utilized pilots and other economic tools to spur the development of affordable housing. Without naming federal officials like 81-year-old Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, a Republican from Kentucky who froze twice during news conferences, when 90-year-old Senator Dianne Feinstein, a Democrat from California, who was absent from Washington for 3 months because of declining health, Congressman Marcus Molinaro says it's time for elderly politicians to consider retiring. Molinaro, who's been a member of the House since winning a special election last year, said politicians need to assess health and age.
At some point, whether it's you're confronting a mental or physical health concern that requires you to take stock and focus on yourself, or you have some health concern later on in life, as a public official, you need to know when it's time to exit the stage. And there are plenty of people in public office who need to decide to exit the stage and allow the next generation to step forward.
Molinaro, who's 47, has been in politics since age 18. When he was in village government, including as mayor, he rose through the ranks as a Dutchess County legislator, state assemblyman, and county executive before winning a congressional seat. Port Jervis City Court Judge James Hendry III has been endorsed by the Orange County Republican and Conservative parties to run for county family court judge this fall. He seeks to fill the vacancy left by Judge Laurie Currier Woods, who retired from the bench in April. Hendry was elected to the Port Jervis Court in 2014 and again in 2022 after serving 2 terms on the Port Jervis Common Council. In addition to presiding over the city court, Hendry has been a private practice attorney for over 2 decades. More news right after this.
Find over 100 retailers allowing you to spend hours shopping safely at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Enjoy the big brands and the diverse selection of family-owned stores all in one location. The Galleria at Crystal Run offers dining options for everyone with Fuji 110 Grill, Allen's Mediterranean Grill, and Peru Cuisine. Discover the Mid-Hudson Valley's premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination, the Galleria at Crystal Run. For more information, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or visit GalleriaCrystalRun.com.
Sullivan County has the distinction of having among the highest number of substance abuse fatalities per capita in the state. And with that in mind, Congressman Marcus Molinaro brought public officials together, along with health and mental health professionals and law enforcement on Tuesday in Monticello. Molinaro says bringing all stakeholders together was aimed at confronting the problem in a coordinated fashion. Sheriff Michael Schiff says that approach is not necessarily what's being done at present.
We have to work together as a group, and I think that's been one of the holdbacks over the years, that everybody has their piece they do and they want for their piece, and they don't look at the overall health. We all have to get a piece and we all have to be effective. And I think as long as we move in that direction as a group, I think we'll start to be effective.
County Legislature Chairman Rob Doherty says as a county, people who use drugs need help to get off them as quickly as possible. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office has arrested a 15-year-old student for making a threat of violence against the Eldred Junior Senior High School in the town of Highland on Instagram last Sunday. At 6 a.m. on Tuesday, authorities executed search warrants at residences in Barryville and Eldred. At the Eldred home, they confiscated an electronic device and arrested the teen, whose name and sex were not made public because of their age. No firearms were found at either location. The child was charged with the felony of making a terroristic threat. A Monday evening accident between a car and a motorcycle on Route 22 in Dover has claimed the life of a 73-year-old Manhattan man. State police responded to the area of Route 22 and Kitchen Corners Road in Dover for a report of a motorcycle accident involving a car just after 5 p.m. The preliminary investigation by police says Rodney Clark was traveling south on his motorcycle carrying a passenger when he attempted to pass two vehicles in a passing zone. While trying to pass, the lead vehicle made a left-hand turn and Clark struck the vehicle with his motorcycle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. No other injuries were reported. Sullivan County Sheriff Michael Schiff announced yesterday the untimely passing of a member of the sheriff's office. 45-year-old Corporal Kyle Muthig of Liberty passed away unexpectedly while off duty on Monday, the sheriff said. Muthig was appointed as the deputy sheriff in the Patrol Division on January 18, 2005, and was promoted to the rank of corporal in June 2016. Schiff made the announcement with a heavy heart and deep sorrow. Funeral arrangements are pending. A Kingston man faces 5 to 7 years in prison when sentenced next January for his guilty plea in Ulster County Court to felony crimes of strangulation and assault. 29-year-old William Knox III entered the guilty plea before visiting Sullivan County Court Judge James Farrell. Knox was first charged with acts of domestic violence against his ex-girlfriend in February and March of last year. He choked her in front of her 4-year-old child, causing injury and loss of consciousness to the victim. While Knox was remanded to Ulster County Jail pending prosecution for domestic violence, he assaulted a corrections officer in the jail, resulting in more charges. I'm Hank Gross, MidHudsonNews.com. The news today brought to you by the Galleria at Crystal Run.